This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Now, last week we've spent a lot of time talking about cutting the collection down big time. And we talked about dungeon crawls. Today we're going to be talking about all the game workshop stuff, because that seems to take up a lot of my collection. It's a good start to start, because you're going to start with where it's going to hurt the most. And you're probably going to see this Monday or Tuesday, this video. And after the 4th of July, the following weekend, I will have another auction, and all this stuff will be in it. So you're going to want to kind of pay attention if you are interested in some of this stuff. But we are going to put huge lots out and get rid of them. So we're going to talk about some of the games that are going to stay. Now, last week I talked about Warhammer Quest 95. Is not going nowhere. End of story. We could put that aside. It was in the prior video. That's a given. Okay, that's my #1 game of all time. Thank you, Little Monk. I will mention that again. But you probably have seen a video. As we talk about Warhammer Quest and our first scenario that we're going to do from Little Monk. So you want to pay attention to that. But let's talk about as a whole what I'm going to keep and what is going to go. And this is where I really have some hard decisions here. Now, Space Hulk, they haven't done anything with it. I have the first version and the latest version, which was how many years ago? I fully painted it. I have a problem even thinking about getting rid of the first version, even though I don't play it. I think it's one of those things that you keep as a classic. And next week's video is going to be Grail games. Which ones do you keep? Which ones do you let go? A real tough one. But this week, even Space Hulk to me is a Grail game, and both editions will be staying in the collection. So we're going to put down Space Hulk stays. So we're going to add that. We've already have 5, so now we're up to 6 games out of maybe 75 that we're going to keep. It's going to take a while to get to do this, but as we're doing this, we are going to be having auctions and getting this stuff out as quickly as possible, and whatever happens. Next comes a subject which I kind of scratch my head with as well, and that is Blood Bowl. I have every version of Blood Bowl. Do I need every version? Well, my wife bought me, I believe it was the 2nd edition or 3rd edition. No, it was the 2nd. No, it was the 3rd edition. It was in the early 90s. She ordered it from Canada. I really wanted it. Couldn't find it anywhere. It was the first time I played Blood Bowl, and then we started playing leagues and everything, and it was a gift that she gave me for my birthday. And I still have those poorly painted orcs that I did, and I refuse to change them or repaint them. Of course, I made about 4 or 5 orc teams since that point, but that is a game that I refuse to go. The latest version, I refuse to let go. The first version, I could let go if I wanted to. And then there's just that thing where anything Blood Bowl, it stays. So Blood Bowl is going to stay. There's no doubt about that. That is going to be game number 7. Okay. And then there's going to be a video on miscellaneous stuff, which that's where we're going to get our real numbers. Like I picked 5 dungeon crawls. So, last week we had 5 dungeon crawls that I felt that if I kept, we would have been good. Okay. But as I started going around and looking at some of them, there's a couple that I may have room for, and it depends where we are on this list. So right now, number 7 is Blood Bowl is going to stay on our list. Moving on, We have a game called Aeronautica Imperialis, and I have a ton of stuff for it. And I've painted some really beautiful ships for that. It goes. It's got to go. I've got to start making hard decisions somewhere. That goes. I have another game, Overkill. It goes. Okay. Rogue Trader, which was the first kind of kill team thing. I think that goes as well. We're making some hard decisions. Lost Patrol, gone. Over here, Lost Relic, gone. Armageddon, which was the first kind of test that they had of bringing possibly Necromunda back, kill team going, that is going to go. So that's out of here. Now here's where it really gets tough. I have a bunch of Warcry. I have Warcry, Red Harvest. I have a bunch of actual teams, as you would call it, or squads in a box, which I'm kind of torn with. As a matter of fact, I have one over here. I'll grab it and pull it out. I know. Oh, yep, I do. Okay. And this is hard because I kind of like the fantasy stuff a little bit more. Like I have Thunderstrike, Stormcast, Eternals. Okay. Are they worth keeping? Well, am I going to keep any of the war cries? Because I have Red Harvest, I have the original one, I have the Heart of Gur. What was the first one called? I'm going to look over here. I'm moving around and I'm sorry. Catacombs. I have Catacombs. I have the original starter set. I have Red Harvest. I have Heart of Gur. Now, I really painted up the starter set really well. And I'm wondering if I should keep that and get rid of the other three. I think I get rid of the other three, and also I have the Mausoleum for Ravaged Lands. I think that goes too. So we'll keep the starter set of Warcry. It's painted really well. And I think we just keep that and we get rid of the rest of it. I think that's a pretty fair trade, if you ask me. Keep one version of it. Okay, makes sense. So that'll be game number 8. Number 9, now we're talking kill team. I have kill team Octarius. I have kill team Into the Dark. I have kill team Shadow Vaults. These are all been unopened pretty much. I think we just cut kill team, and I have a bunch of the different squads that you can add to it. So I think we're going to get rid of that. That's got to go. So kill team is out. There's nothing that's going to change my mind about that. So kill team, we're going to add to our list of, we're going to do a lot of kill team. We're going to do a lot of Warcry. These are going to be big lots. The newer Warhammer quests. Warhammer Curse City, Silver Tower. I kind of like Silver Tower, and I painted it all. And then I have the other one, the other one. Out of the three of those, I want to get rid of Curse City, but I'm going to be using some of the figures that come in that set for, and I have the expansion for it. So I think Curse City is going to stay because I'm going to use it for 95. There's a bunch of figures that I'm going to use for it. I think Curse City is useless, but the figures to replace them would almost cost as much as I would get to do whatever I need to do. And we're going to be talking about that in another video, because you're going to see what I'm going to be using there. Silver Tower. You know, I guess this can fall underneath the... I think I'm going to get rid of... I think it's Nearthal or whatever the heck it is. I'm going to get rid of one of them. That's going to go. I'm going to keep Curse City, and I'm going to get rid of... I'm going to keep Silver Tower. I kind of like those two, and I think they'll work very well. I'm still on the fence with the other one, so I'm going to wrap that into the bubble of Warhammer Quest, and those are what I'm going to keep there. But I will get rid of Warhammer Quest Lost Relic. So write that down. Lost Relic, which is a nice little game to kind of play around with. We're going to get rid of Warhammer Overkill. Even though you get the Magnus in there, which is really kind of cool. It's a self-contained little board game. I really like, but it's out of print, and good luck finding it. So we'll get rid of that. We're going to get rid of Armageddon. And then I have Adeptus Mechanicus. That is going to go, because I'm not going to get into Adeptus Mechanicus. That is going to go as well. I just don't see any use in it if I'm not going to do their Epic line. So that'll be that. I'm going to keep some old school stuff. I'm going to keep my Mordheim stuff. I'm going to keep my War Master stuff. And then we come to Necromunda. And this is where I really struggle. I really struggle here because Necromunda is a great game. Okay? Underhive, a lot of fun. And I have a bunch of the different figures. I have the updated rules. My problem lies is Dark Uprising, which I never opened, and Ash Wastes. Ash Wastes, it's almost like we're trying to do a Mad Max version of Necromunda, and it loses that feel of gangs going at it. The same could probably be said about Dark Rising. So I think we keep Necromunda, and that's going to bring us up to 9. Necromunda. And we're going to keep some of the different gangs. But we're going to get rid of Ash Wastes and Dark Uprising. And that will be an entire lot. There you go. Very nice. So I've got all that. I'm trying to think what else. Dungeon Bowl. There is no way in hell I'm getting rid of Dungeon Bowl. Dungeon Bowl ranks up there with Blood Bowl. We're going to keep that. That is going to stay. Turn around looking, because I'm looking right at it. Oh, I even have Shattered Stormville. Oh, boy, I have a lot of Warcry stuff. It's all going to go, though. All except for the base unit, just in case I ever get the itch to play it again. Which I doubt. But we're going to go... Yeah, some tough decisions here. Yeah, I think we'll keep... so that's going to be 10. We're going to keep Dungeon Bowl. One of my all-time favorites. All the colleges. And then, with you got the new set coming out from Age of Sigmar, but I'm just not doing the Age of Sigmar thing. I'm just not into it. So I think I'm going to just kind of skip that. And then so far we've got 10 of our 75, and I feel pretty good of it. Of what we have, but we have a ton of stuff that we are going to auction off. Some of these auctions are going to be big, and I'm going to have to do them, space them out. But there you go. That covers all my GW stuff. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I had hanging around, which I doubt that I do. But if I come to it, if I'm not thinking about it, then it's going to go. And this next auction, oh, well, you know, we could count Dungeon Quest. I have my GW version of it. And I have the Fantasy Flight version of Dungeon Quest. I think we have our 11th game as Dungeon Quest stays. There's just no way I could get rid of that. It's just too personal. Too personal. Yeah, that's going to stay. So there you go. Now I think I've covered everything that I possibly could have as far as Games Workshop is concerned. Unless I see something else that pops into my head. We covered Aeronautica Imperialis, which I painted to perfection. Oh, I can kill myself. And I actually printed out a way that you could play Attack Down the Sulphur River, or whatever the heck it was, in big scale, so you can play it with that set. I gotta draw a line someplace. I gotta start drawing a line. So there we go. All right, so we've covered all our Games Workshop stuff. So far, not too bad. We're doing pretty good cleaning stuff out. So we are going to get rid of all that stuff. It'll be in our next auction that we do. So if you're a big Games Workshop person and you are looking to get some stuff cheap, well, you found the right place, and that's Rob's Tabletop World. So we'll keep you informed when it's going to happen. And next week we'll be back, as we're going to be talking about the Grail games and which ones stay, which ones gotta go. Whew. This isn't going to be easy, but we're going to get this. We're going to get this mess down to where we can control it. That's for doggone sure. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.